I've been listening to creators left and right on LinkedIn today, and I love it, the unpolished version of what they share about their real stories behind the stories, instead of watching all the glitz and glamour on their channels. They never say they played it safe and it worked out. They never say they waited until they had money or they eased into it. They all have the same exact story. They jumped into their dream. Some were hungry, some were homeless. Some even dropped out of school. Some walked away from jobs with no backup plan, lost relationships. Some lost everything that they thought even mattered, to the point of parents turning their backs on them. And now they're walking around inside the life they could only once imagine and dream about. And every time I hear these stories, I ask myself the same exact question: why not me? Why not you? That question will never change unless you get active. Because once you start asking, why me, and stop asking for permission and waiting for approval, and stop negotiating and walking in fear, you start to realize that most people never accept, they just don't have the courage to follow through. Every single person you admire paid some type of price. They just don't advertise it because pain doesn't sell. But behind every breakthrough was a moment where comfort was no longer an option for these people. But one thing they had in common is they didn't quit. They didn't make it because they're untalented or too talented. They were locked into their dream, but they were willing to be uncomfortable for it. They wanted freedom. They wanted to embrace the uncertainty of life and take that chance to have abundance no matter how terrified they were. And that fear didn't keep them trapped, it couldn't contain them. Because what they knew is staying where you are will cost you everything. Who wants to leave the world asking, what if I would have pursued this, that, and the other? And never use your creativity that God gave you a spirit of. Because once you're gone, you're gone. You got to start getting comfortable with moving away from what's familiar. People stay at jobs they hate. They complain about relationships that drain them, not because they're weak, but because they're afraid to bet on themselves. And betting on yourself is the scariest thing you could possibly do. But why not? What if it does work out? No more boss, no more system, no more excuses. Just you following through and actually making it. This is why most people never commit, because that's too big of a sacrifice. And they rather let fear stand between them and their dreams. And I'm here to talk you out of that fear, because I want everybody to win and everybody to make it. But it starts with the decision to make it, and start basing your life on principle and moving with a system, taking control of your thoughts, and stop playing games with time by not wasting time. Because one thing is guaranteed: if you keep moving in a certain way, you keep holding on to the thought, you keep taking actions towards the thing has to happen against all odds, no matter what your mama told you, no matter what your daddy told you, no matter what your siblings told you. I don't care who told you you'd never make it. If God put it in you, He will put it on you. And I know that seems heavy as you enter this tunnel, but you got to keep your mind on walking out the other side unscathed. And one creator stood out to me today in particularly. I guess his mother cut him off for like several years, all because he dropped out of school to be a YouTuber. 7 years, and you got that type of closeness and love for your mom, and you never know when she's gonna talk to you again. That's a big deal, but that's the price this dude paid. And now all he does is interview millionaires and billionaires, not as a guest, but as a peer on his own show. And I think that's the dopest thing in the world. He became one of them. Just think about that. The very decision that got him rejected is the same decision that built his life. That's not motivation, that's reality. And stories like that should give you all of the hope and the faith that you need when it comes to your calling. Yes, it's going to be lonely. You're going to be misunderstood. There's going to be some bad and some ugly days. But once you make it to the other side, do you know those ugly things are going to be the beautiful things you cherish because it's going to make you appreciate your decision that much more because you decide to follow through? You have to want it enough to work for it and start defining yourself and saying, this is who I am. This is how things are going to move, because money doesn't chase effort. It chases frequency and it chases alignment. Stop operating out of desperation and start operating out of clarity. Because when it comes to this commitment, you cannot let the word failure be a part of your vocabulary anymore. Because this isn't about the cars, the clouds, or the flexing. It's about you not needing permission from anyone to be great and realizing that that is your true identity. That's all I'm saying to you. Do great things, be a great person, work through the bull crap, because you already knew and you know that you're meant for exactly what you're called to do. And the truth be told, somebody out there needs you to make it, because little do you know, you making it is giving them inspiration to make it. So risk it all. I know that's dramatic, but risk it all, because during this season, you have to go against the grain when it comes to living the life you desire and the life you want. The real risk is never trying, never making it, because by quitting and never starting, you are guaranteeing yourself a 1000% chance that it'll never happen. So don't just try, start, and make up your mind that this is what you're going to do, and this is how it's going to be, and this is how you're going to live. This is how legends are built. They're forged in the dark with no security, in isolation, with nothing but faith, fighting every doubt that comes into their head. You have to be the same exact way. That's why I keep telling y'all, pick up the book, The Science of Getting Rich. It's not just about money, it's about mindset. You have to change your mindset. That's why I constantly tell you, this is not a motivational channel. I am teaching you to base your life on principles, creation, creating things from unseen, from nothing but your faith, your ability to hold thoughts in your mind and follow through until they become you, baby. Because that is your blessing, not mine. That's your future, not mine. That's your gift, not mine. And you got to operate in your gifts. You got to operate in your purpose. Prove everybody that's telling you that you cannot make it wrong. And be obedient to your calling. The people who win didn't wait until they felt ready. They moved while afraid, broke and broke in. But they trusted that God would save the day, and they got momentum behind them, and they followed through. They battled through the good days. They battled through the ups and downs. They battled through the tears. And now they're waking up every day with a smile on their face. That's what I want for everybody that watches my channel. Choose the dream. Choose the risk. Choose the life you cannot stop thinking about. It's worth it. Because once you're in that mindset, you cannot fail. If you found value in this, grab one of the books in my link below, or feel free to click the other link to buy me a coffee. Y'all know I appreciate it all. And the only thing I hope for you is that you walked away with more value than you walked in here with before you clicked on my channel. And with that being said, we're going to close it out like we always do. All gas, no brakes. Lock in. Peace.